The studio lights were warm and low, casting a soft glow over the familiar Call Her Daddy set. The cameras were rolling, the mics were live, and Alex Cooper sat poised in her chair, calm, composed, and ready. Across from her sat Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, her signature charm on full display, though her eyes betrayed a quiet storm beneath the surface. This episode was supposed to be different. Meghan's team had insisted that it would be a light-hearted discussion about womanhood, mental health, and the pressures of fame. But Alex Cooper had done her homework. She wasn't one to let a royal guest, or anyone, sidestep the truth. Meghan, Alex began smoothly, flipping through her notes. You've often spoken about empowerment and authenticity. Yet critics say your actions don't always match your message. She paused, glancing at the camera, the Netflix deal, the Spotify fallout, and those interviews where you, let's say, contradicted the palace timeline. The studio went silent. Meghan's smile stiffened. Well, Meghan said carefully, I think people are often too eager to twist women's words. Especially when they threaten the establishment. Alex nodded, but her expression stayed sharp. Sure, but don't you think sometimes, accountability gets lost in the victim narrative? I mean, the Spotify producers who worked with you said it was difficult to get your podcast off the ground because of creative disagreements. Were they all wrong? A flicker of irritation crossed Meghan's face. Alex, you're known for creating controversy, aren't you? Maybe this is just your way of what? Alex leaned forward. Of asking the questions your PR team avoids. A small gasp came from one of the assistants behind the camera. Meghan straightened in her chair, visibly recalibrating. I came here to talk about rebuilding women's voices, not to defend every business decision I've made. Alex smiled. And I came here to talk about your voice, the one you use, and the one you silence. The tension was electric. For a moment, neither woman spoke. Then Alex pressed on. You once said in an interview that you didn't know much about the royal family before marrying Prince Harry. But emails from your old blog The Tig show you wrote about them in 2014. How do you reconcile that? Meghan blinked, her media training kicking in, but Alex had already pulled up the archived screenshot on her iPad. The audience watching the livestream could see it too. I think context matters, Meghan replied, her voice cooling. That was years before I ever met Harry. I was an actress then, we all comment on pop culture. That doesn't mean I studied them. Alex didn't back off. Fair point. But don't you think selective memory plays into public distrust? You talk about authenticity, I'm just asking where that begins and ends. For the first time, Meghan seemed genuinely rattled. You're twisting this, she said sharply. You're taking tabloid rhetoric and dressing it up as journalism. Alex chuckled softly. I'm just asking what everyone's thinking but too afraid to say. Isn't that what empowerment is? Speaking truth, even when it's uncomfortable. The air grew heavy. Meghan's tone hardened. There's a difference between empowerment and provocation. Maybe that's something your show sometimes forgets. Alex's reply was a quiet dagger, and maybe you forget that real empowerment doesn't come with a script. The words hung in the air like smoke. There was a long pause before Meghan finally broke eye contact. Her assistant whispered something off camera, but Alex lifted a hand, signaling to keep rolling. You can leave if you want, she said evenly. But this is your platform to be heard, unedited. Meghan took a breath, then exhaled slowly. You know what, Alex? You're very good at what you do. You provoke reactions. You get clicks. But maybe try empathy next time. Not everyone has to bear their wounds to prove they've healed. Alex nodded slightly, respecting the counterpunch. Fair enough, she said. But the women listening right now, they want real stories. Not press statements. Don't you owe them that honesty? For the first time in the interview, Meghan hesitated. Her voice softened. You think it's easy to be honest when every word you say becomes a headline. When your pain turns into profit for someone else. That quiet admission shifted the room. Even Alex paused. For a second, the wall between them cracked. Two women, both under scrutiny, both fighting for control of their narratives. But Alex wasn't done. Then maybe this is the moment to show them. The unfiltered version of you. Not the Duchess. Not the brand. Just Meghan. Meghan stared back, her eyes glistening. Maybe one day, she whispered. But not when the world's still looking for someone to crucify. The camera light blinked red, the end of the segment. Alex leaned back, her posture relaxed again, but her eyes remained sharp. That, she said quietly, was real. And that's why people tune in. As Meghan gathered her things, the crew stayed silent. The argument hadn't just made headlines, it had made history. 2 women, 2 empires, 1 microphone, and a conversation that would ripple through every corner of the internet by morning. The morning after the explosive interview, the internet was in flames. Clips of Alex and Meghan's tense exchange flooded every platform. TikTok edits, YouTube breakdowns, and think pieces titled, "Did Alex Go Too Far?" were everywhere. Within hours, hashtags like #Meghan on call her daddy and #Alex Cooper exposed began trending side by side. Alex sat in her New York apartment, scrolling through the chaos. She'd done hundreds of interviews before, but this one felt different. Every outlet was spinning the story, some calling her fearless, others branding her cruel. She leaned back on her couch and sighed. "They always love you until they don't," she muttered. Her phone buzzed, her producer, Jordan, calling. "Alex, the numbers are insane," Jordan said without preamble. "This episode broke every record we've ever had. Spotify wants to feature it on the front page again." But, he hesitated. "But," Alex asked. Meghan's team released a statement. "They're calling the interview an ambush, and accusing you of manipulating the edit." Alex closed her eyes, exhaling slowly. There was no manipulation. It's exactly what she said. Live. Uncut. Yeah, but that doesn't matter right now. The media's already taking sides. Alex rubbed her temples. "Let them. I didn't invite her to sugarcoat her story. I asked her to own it." Meanwhile, across the ocean in Montecito, Meghan Markle sat at her breakfast table, scrolling through the same avalanche of reactions. Prince Harry entered quietly, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You shouldn't read those," he said gently. Meghan set her phone down. "Too late. Apparently, I'm fake, scripted, and finished." She forced a bitter laugh. Funny how women tearing down other women is suddenly called empowerment. Harry sat beside her. "You knew what you were walking into. Cooper's known for her no-filter interviews. I thought we could have a real conversation," Meghan replied, her voice trembling slightly. But she wanted a headline, not a dialogue. Harry reached across the table, squeezing her hand. "Then show them the truth. Speak again, your way." Meghan stared out the window, deep in thought. "Maybe I will. That afternoon, Alex's phone rang again. But this time, it wasn't her producer. The caller ID read, "Private number." She hesitated, then answered. "This is Alex." "Alex, it's Meghan." The voice on the other end was calm, collected, but sharp. Alex sat up straight. "Meghan, I wasn't expecting this." "I bet you weren't," Meghan said dryly. "I just wanted to tell you directly, next time, when you invite someone to be real, maybe don't turn it into a boxing match." Alex's jaw tightened. "I wasn't attacking you. I was challenging the narrative. There's a difference. You humiliated me," Meghan shot back. "And you call that empowerment." "I call that honesty," Alex replied evenly. "You've built an empire on your truth, but the moment someone questions it, you call it an attack." There was silence for a moment. Then Meghan's tone softened, almost weary. "Do you even realize how much pressure it takes to hold everything together? To be perfect every second, because if you slip once, they'll tear you apart." Alex paused. "Yeah," she said finally. "Actually, I do." The line went quiet again. 2 women, 2 worlds, both exhausted by public scrutiny. "I didn't want it to go that way," Alex said. "I wanted people to see you, not the headlines." "Then maybe you should have listened," Meghan replied. "Instead, you pushed me until I broke." "Maybe that's when people finally tell the truth," Alex countered softly. Another long pause. Meghan sighed. "You know what's funny? You and I aren't that different. We both know what it's like to have our voices twisted. We just fight it in different ways." Alex leaned back, realizing she wasn't angry anymore. "Maybe that's the first real thing you've said to me." A faint chuckle escaped from Meghan's end. "Careful, Alex. That almost sounded like respect." "Maybe it is," Alex said. There was a quiet understanding now, fragile but real. "Anyway," Meghan said after a moment, "I'm doing my own follow-up tomorrow." A statement on camera. Not a reaction, just clarity. "I'll be watching," Alex replied. "No hard feelings." Meghan paused, then said simply, "Just lessons." And hung up. The next evening, Meghan posted a video to her official channel. Sitting in her garden, she spoke directly to the camera, no makeup, no royal tone, no PR polish. "I did an interview yesterday," she began. "And it got heated. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need more uncomfortable conversations, between women who don't always agree." She smiled faintly. Because honesty isn't always soft. Sometimes it's sharp. And that's okay. Within minutes, the video went viral again, but this time, the tone had changed. People praised her vulnerability, her willingness to face criticism head-on. Even Alex reposted the clip with one word: respect. Later that night, Alex sat on her balcony, sipping a glass of wine, scrolling through the calmer tide of comments. Jordan texted her, "You realize you and Meghan just changed the whole game, right?" Alex smiled to herself. "Maybe," she murmured. "Or maybe we just finally had the realest conversation of our careers." And somewhere in California, Meghan Markle read the same comment thread, and, for the first time in a long time, smiled too. Two women. One storm. Both still standing.